What's up, everybody? I am super excited for another amazing episode of Quantum Inspirations. Super excited to be with you this week. I just want to reiterate that I love doing this. This is so cool. I'm going to turn on my comments. If you are watching, say hello. Let me know you're here. And this stretches me every week. Like, I'm still getting used to clicking all these buttons and stepping into a new audience, but this is what life is about, right? Life is about stepping into the field of infinite possibilities. Because when we do things that stretch us and challenge us and help us to reach new levels of development, we are building our confidence. We are creating new neuronal pathways in our brain that help us to step into new possibility, step into a new area of life. Get bold, be bold, step out of your comfort zone, learn new things. Like, this is what makes life exciting, right? This is where we get our adrenaline rush, just like in sports. You know, this is why we go for the championship game. This is why we push ourselves to the limit constantly, all about mindset. And so this is what we are talking about today. I'm going to be talking about someone that I didn't think I would ever be talking about on a podcast. First of all, our title is Getting Over Adversity Triumphantly. Getting over adversity triumphantly. And isn't this like a great mantra for all athletes? Stepping through your fears, taking control of your mind, not replaying the mistakes over and over in your head, but staying in the realm of possibilities and holding on to hope and doing the work that needs to be done in order to up-level and move past anything that you have screwed up with. Okay, so now let me back up here. The reason I say that I never thought I would talk about this particular athlete is because I never really liked him. But then the weird thing is I had to call Dan and be like, why didn't I like this guy? Can you remind me why I didn't like this guy? Which is like such a shitty place to be. Really, Monica? And so what he told me is the guy I'm going to talk about, he was part of a team that was basically the arch enemy nemesis of the Colts for years because we were battling over the AFC championship over and over and over again. So can you guess who I'm about to talk about? He's a quarterback. Like, I don't think I need to say any more. I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. I never liked this guy, but not because I knew anything about him, not because I knew anything about his history, but just because of the team that he was associated with. That's not a cool place to be. And so my point is, when we can step back and look beyond circumstances and look beyond associations and really look at a person and appreciate them for who they are, it opens up a world of appreciation, growth, and possibility to you. So tonight, I am talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Okay, this dude is a total badass. And I know a lot of you may be thinking, well, he's kind of stuck up, full of himself. And that's kind of the impression that I got of him too, because of memories of him, because of seeing what I wanted to see. But then when I started doing my research about this guy, and looking into his history and looking into the adversity that he has overcome, I have a whole new appreciation for what this guy has done, what he has achieved, and the mindset that he has such a solid, firm foundation of thoughts, feelings, emotions to operate from. And this is why he is so successful. And we can learn so much from this guy. So I'm looking at him through a whole completely different lens at this point. Okay, so let's talk about this dude. And let's talk about, first of all, he's 43. Like, he's old for the NFL, right? I mean, 43 is not far off my age. I don't consider that old, but for the NFL, this dude is old as an NFL quarterback, right? I want to look at his history a little bit, his past. So he was a 6th round draft pick. He was the 199th draft pick when he went into the NFL. He sat 3 seasons on the bench before he played. I want to go back even further, though. Let's talk about college. And this is where it all began as far as his mindset, intentional mindset work. He went to Michigan. And he worked with, I wrote this dude's name down, Greg Harden. Have you heard of Greg Harden? You probably have. I had not. But Greg Harden is a motivational speaker. He's a life coach. And at the time, he was the associate athletic director at Michigan. And the athletes at Michigan, at least the football players, had a very close relationship with this guy, and he would coach them on mindset. Like, the whole team had a lot of mindset training to really set them up for success. And Tom Brady, when he first went to Michigan, I guess he had just gotten over like appendicitis. He had lost 25 pounds. He was super skinny. He admitted that he never really had, he was never the fastest guy. He never had the best arm. He was a skinny guy. So he really didn't have any of this like natural athletic prowess that they always talk about. Like, he really had to work hard for it. And so he goes into Greg Harden's office and he's like, I want to start. And he almost left Michigan because he wasn't going to start. Well, Greg said to him, look, man, if you leave, you're going to go someplace they're going to recruit you. They're going to love you, but you're not going to start. Your situation is going to follow you. And so this, for me, with my quantum physics background, is really interesting because Greg was presenting, to Tom, the fact that what's going on in here, or I'm sorry, let me back up. What's going on out there is a mirror image of what you've got going on inside of your mind. So you can go somewhere else. You can change circumstances. But if you don't change this, your circumstances will be recreated over and over and over again. So Greg said, look, Tom, stay, work on your mindset, put the physical work in, and then play. And so he explained that Tom Brady, as a 20-year-old kid, came to his office at least once a week. He would come into his office at least once a week and talk to Greg about what he was feeling and what he needed to work on. And I wrote down some of the quotes that Greg said to him. He said, you need to master your insecurities and self-defeating behaviors. He said, silence the noise and clutter in order to focus. Be trainable, coachable, and hungry. So Greg Harden is also someone who has worked with Desmond Howard and Michael Phelps. So this dude is amazing. The way that he trains people on their mindset is profound and changed Tom Brady's life. Absolutely changed his life. And then what else did he say? There was another quote that I wrote down that was super powerful to me. Silence the noise in order to, okay. Well, I can't find it. But, okay, so the long and short of it is, oh, I know what he said. He told him, he said, with or without football, you will be great. What an amazing, valuable message for all of us to think about. to grasp onto. So whether we're talking about sports or talking about your job or talking about some hobby that you have or a relationship that you have, with or without that, you will be great. And so this is when we step into the power that's in here. This is when we do not allow the outside world to determine our worth, no matter what's going on. If we can tap into the greatness that we have in here and in our heart, the outside world just responds. The outside world just responds. So it all starts inside. It all starts inside. So Tom Brady working with Greg Harden throughout his college career was super, super foundational for Tom Brady to keep his mind right while he was going through so much adversity. I mean, you know, you think about, you step into a field where you have so many absolutely amazing athletes. The competition is so, so high. And, you know, you think about how that can affect what's going on in here. Unless you are really steady, unless you really put the work in, the time in, the focus, and be very intentional, then you can really lose yourself in all that shit, especially in the NFL. I mean, when you have people going on about you and what they think you're going to do and how they think you're going to fail or how you're going to succeed, you've got all kinds of chatter going on the outside. So the key is to push that chatter out. What'd he say? He said, master your insecurities and self-defeating behaviors, silence the noise and clutter in order to focus. And so how do we do that? That takes me to my next point. Tom Brady is 43, and he definitely looks younger than 43. And so why? Well, physically, he's obviously taking care of himself. He's in a very physical sport. He eats really, really well. He eats high vibrational foods that keep him healthy, because the higher vibrational frequency we are carrying in our body, the less likely we are to get sick, because all of that sickness vibrates at a much lower frequency and cannot survive in our bodies. And the mindset work. So they are doing research now that proves that when you are intentionally having more positive thoughts than negative thoughts, and intentionally taking the time to silence your mind, so for instance, through meditation, that we are actually changing our genes. This is real scientific study here. We are actually changing our genes by the way that we think. And you can either change them negatively or change them positively. And so what exactly does that mean? Well, what we're doing when we're thinking positive thoughts and when we're tapping into the silence is we are down regulating negative genes. So genes that carry illness, genes that carry cancer, genes that carry heart disease. We are deactivating those genes just by thinking positively. We're fixing our genes through our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And not only that, we are lengthening our telomeres. Your telomere is what determines the length of your life. So so positive mindset is literally anti-aging and lengthening your life. So why wouldn't you take the time to do it? Why wouldn't you take the time to tap in? And what I love about sports, hey, Cecilia, what I love about sports too is, man, this industry is huge, and it's huge for a reason. It's huge because people have fun. People get exhilarated. When we watch sports and hang out with our friends and get excited and get rowdy, we are bonding with them. We are raising our frequency because we're having fun, and we're releasing all of these positive neurochemicals into our brain, and they're flooding our body. And what these neurochemicals are doing is they're going into our blood vessels and our arteries, and they're healing them. They are literally, so let's talk about oxytocin, for example. Oxytocin is that happy chemical, you know, like when you hear a baby laugh, or you see a baby smile, or someone you love deeply looks at you and smiles at you, or you get a hug and it feels really good. This is oxytocin being released. And oxytocin goes into your heart and literally opens up your vessels. It opens them up. So as we age and some gunk can kind of get in there and fill in and close our vessels down, oxytocin pushes those back open. Just like if you were to go have heart surgery and get a stent placed, you don't need that. If you can start early enough to a point where you're not so bad that you need to have surgery, start now, then you can open those vessels up on their own. And they're even doing studies where people who have a very drastic cardiac diagnosis are tapping into mindset and they're tapping into meditation, and they are literally healing their hearts. They catch it soon enough that it's not dangerous for them to go into a study and avoid surgery, and they literally heal their hearts and avoid having their ribs cracked open and having to have a drastic cardiac surgery. Isn't that absolutely amazing? This is the power of the mind, my friend. It is so, so exciting and so, so profound. And so back to the excitement of sports, something I really love that is happening for me here is the world of professional sports is new to me. Like, my kids play sports, but I've never really been much into watching football and stuff like that. But I love it because, and I'm so glad that, well, I hate that it took me this long to tap into it, but I'm so excited about it because I'm able to hang out with my brother and like genuinely bond with him about these things. And, you know, I'm like, give me some feedback. I really want to know about this person and this person and this person. Tell me about them, because I want to be authentic and genuine in this space. And so not only am I learning and growing from that perspective, but I'm creating a bond with my brother. And when we create these bonds with one another, we're literally healing. We are changing our genes and having these positive, loving, amazing interactions with the people around us. So I'm totally hooked. I'm super excited about Super Bowl Sunday. And I also want to let you know that at 4 p.m., we'll be on BWSPORTS doing is it 4 p.m. or 4:30? Oh, geez. I think it's 4 p.m. We will be on doing a sports, doing a like Super Bowl special. So I'm super excited about that, and to even like bond with the guys in the network. It's like I have a bunch of extra brothers now. It's super cool. Okay. So tell me if you're here. I've got the comments open. Tell me how you feel about Tom Brady now after having that conversation. Has it kind of shifted your perspective a little bit? It really shifted my perspective. You know, when we look at people from a different angle, through a different lens, the whole world opens up. And I actually was having a conversation with my friend who's watching, Cecilia, earlier, and she was talking about not labeling people. And she created a situation for herself where she was working with this guy and she considered him annoying. And she decided to sit back and like, okay, let's get rid of the label and write a list of positive aspects about this guy. And he ended up like shifting his whole attitude around her. And he ended up gifting her this really beautiful bracelet. And now all of their interactions have shifted. And she shifted her feelings about him. And so that's the power of the mind. And while we can't control everything, we can control our reaction to it. And you would be really surprised at how you can shift someone's behavior toward you by you just shifting your attitude and emotion toward them. I've done it before. I co-parent far better than I used to because of the list of positive aspects that I make about the father of my children. It really works. It's really worth tapping into. All right. Oh, guys, it's been awesome. I'm super excited about Super Bowl Sunday. Woo-woo! It's going to be awesome. Tell me who you're rooting for in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this message has been powerful and meaningful for you. I love you guys dearly. Have an absolutely amazing evening. And do not forget that you are unique. You are amazing. You have a very specific offering for this world. No one else has what you have to offer. You are your own supernatural genius, so share your gift with the world. Have a great night, you guys. Bye-bye. See you Sunday.